Okay. On the scene at Winter Brawl 2015 with DOA champ, again, Mr. MC Quiggles. Good evening, sir. How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Alright, so today's tournament, and I guess yesterday, was like DOA last round's first major, as it turns out. The game just coming out a week after, and no surprise, you entered, and here you are again, champion once again. How you feeling right now, bro?
I mean, it feels pretty good, for whatever reason. There were so many people here this weekend that were like, they're ready to see me lose. I'm like, why? What did I do? I'm not doing anything to make people hate me. I'm just, kind of owning y'all. Well, seriously, even Tom was voting against me this weekend. He was like, he's ready for Ryan to take me out this time. He's ready to see somebody else come out on top. But I'm like, really? The guy that, the guy that's been winning, you're tired of seeing my face? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, the thing is, it's kind of expected right now, and it's the same as like with other games. Like, Justin Wong, before back in the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 days, he dominated, Sanford Kelly in that game. Other titles, when someone's been around on the top, it's like, it's kind of predictable the way things are going to turn out. And I think the fans just want to see something different, something new. Case in point, we did have sort of an upset last time we saw you at, NEC this past December, where XCal took the victory from you by using Elliot on you. Now, there was, discussion online on Free Step Dodge, the Facebook groups, and other areas saying like, well, Christian did not use Christy this time, but he, tried to go with Lisa, which we know definitely you know how to you understand that character, and Kasumi, but neither one were able to penetrate. And what I said to the defense of that was like, even still, like maybe Christy might have made a difference, but the fact of the matter is, Elliot has not been looked at as a character that's been overpowered. Right. You know what I mean? Like, the other two characters, I would say personally, so a character like Kasumi should have handily, beat Elliot handily. But the problem that seems to come out, and what I always notice with other players is, they assume everybody knows that character's weakness. Elliot is not a popular character, and you go ahead, give me your insight on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other side to that is, a lot of the times people assume that it's, the character that's broken. It's like, you can't get around this character's stupid. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to lie and say, some characters don't have better tools than others, sometimes even great tools, like readily more usable than other characters, but think about the player that's behind the character. It's not the character coming in, hitting buttons by themselves, destroying you. It's the player behind the character, utilizing what the character has to offer. So when people turn around and tell me, oh, you're only winning because of Christy or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, basically I've won a tournament now with Christy, with Rachel, with Lisa, and now Kasumi. So it's like, it's just starting to get kind of old hearing people talk about, certain people are only winning with certain characters when clearly I'm showing I can use more. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to Elliot, I just flat out didn't know the matchup. Nobody uses Elliot. He's not a popular character. In the hands of one of the best players in the community like Excali, he plays him. Faithfully plays him. He doesn't pull him out that much, but Excali definitely has a pocket Elliot. And, when he pulled him out on me at the tournament, I was kind of just like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And, during the course of the fight, there was a bunch of crazy stuff happening. Like, it was almost like anytime I tried to crush him, I would get counter hit, or for whatever reason, when I would try to interrupt him or duck something, I would watch him go to throw me, and I swear to God, I swear on everything, it was like I was in block stun. I don't know what was going on, but I just couldn't attack. But regardless of whatever happened, I just didn't know the matchup. I lost, plain flat out period. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to say it was because I just didn't know the matchup. I lost.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It just goes to show, like, the best of the best can lose. Like, you can lose to something as simple as not knowing the matchup. It doesn't matter if it's the worst character or the best character in the game if you don't ever see it.
Yeah, because see, like, I would say, to add to that, there was a time during Street Fighter 4's, like, period where even a top player that we just spoke of earlier, Justin Wong, he called the character, I don't know if you knew, Adon, he called that character, he said that character was bad.
Right.
And I can't remember which year at AVO where the Adon player came out that used him. I am slipping right now, because I cannot remember his name.
Right.
It's late, but everybody knows who I'm talking about. He exclusively uses Adon in Street Fighter. GamerB, yes, GamerB. He came out, he used Adon versus Justice Wong, and he blew him up.
Wow.
After Justin said
The character
it was bad.
Which is kind of the same thing that happened with Ellie. Everybody faithfully has been saying Elliott's like the lowest of the low. He sucks, he's garbage, and then look, he just won a major. So it's almost like people just want to say a character is overpowered or a character sucks as an excuse to, you know, put spotlight on them maybe or point out something. Basically, I look at it all as complaining. Just complaining. Flat out complaining. Like, if you don't know how to adapt or you can't deal or if you can't beat the player, don't complain and say that the character is too overpowered or this character sucks. If you don't know what you're doing, step it up, adapt, get better.
I find as well too, considering this new DOA and just the the way the move in like fighting games now, because like you're a lot, not I won't say a lot younger than me, but you are younger than me, and the generational gap I find really compared to when I used to play, like when I was your age, closer to my prime, was we didn't have all the resources that are available now with players. For instance, like the internet, YouTube. Everything is just out there, and what I think I'm seeing a lot with the people's complaints is one person says this, they say why, and everybody's like, well, this person knows what they're talking about, so I'm just gonna go with, I'm just gonna.
Like they jump on a bandwagon that just because one person says it, it's easier to follow what they say because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, because like if so and so's so good and he doesn't know what to do with it, then there's no possible way I can do anything with that. Whereas I would think you are too, or a character loyalist, where like you look at a character, you see their movements, the moves they can do, and you're like, you know what, I like this character. This is the character, I look at the whole entire cast, this is the character I want to play. I don't care if they're bad, they're good, I'm going to keep playing this character.
And that's actually funny that you mentioned that. Now, I don't know how many Tekken fans or Tekken players that we have in the DOA community, but a classic example of that character that used to be absolutely horrible according to tier lists and in-game play. I used to main faithfully Zafina in Tekken 6. Easily bottom 2, worst character in the game. Right along with, I think it was Yoshimitsu at the time. I think he was the lowest character in the game, and she was right above him. Okay. That's a classic example of right there, I'm a character loyalist. I dropped every character that I played just for her, but I made it work.
Yeah, and I'm going to even say something about that character, Zafina. She was like, because I play Tekken 2, and Tekken 6,
she was garbage. Lowest of the low.
The thing that I'm going to say was what you said earlier. I would see that character every now and then I don't know what to do. Because, like, she's always going low, this and that. I was like, how do I stop this?
And then it's like you come along, somebody comes along that specializes in that character, and it's like, instead of people, appreciating the gameplay, wow, I've never seen this character, do that. I didn't know they could do that. It's like instead of people praising people nowadays for specializing in a character, it's almost like they hate on them rather than give them their props for putting in the work and discovering everything they could with the character. Like, in my case, clearly everybody knows my main character is Christy. I've been using her since day one. I've labbed up with her, I've trained with her, I've found more ways to deal with the cast with her than I have with everybody else. And it's like, instead of me receiving my due props for figuring everything out I have with her, instead I just get hate. Oh, well, I see too much Christy, I see too much Christy. Well, I'm sorry, that's my main character. I'm a character loyalist, so if you guys are tired of seeing her, come out and do something about it. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. And I definitely respect that, because it's like, even me, like, I would generally really hate that character, Christy, but what I even started to do is, like, I would watch your matches when you would use her, and I'd start looking for key moves. For instance, quarter circle back punch, where she kind of hops back and does the swipe. I was like, that's a key move. And I was like, I need to be ready to stop that move. What can my characters do to stop this move? Because it's like, when I'm going to want to throw, it's usually when I want to throw you, or like, I start getting my momentum up, that's when that move is gonna come out, and the bonuses you get off of it is just yes.
It's a great tool.
And it's like I need to stop that tool. And it's sort of the same thing like the mindset when we were talking in the car earlier when we were riding around. I would say, and during commentary on the stream, is like you and your brother have this knack for like what an old school player looks at or like their tendencies are when playing a game like Dead or Alive is it would go punch, 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 mix up, or like 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna switch it up. When I watch you and Sonic Fox play, it's like it goes 1, 2, and you stop everybody at 2, as opposed to letting them go to 3, where everybody decides that's where I want to change things up. And right there, that screwed everybody's playstyle up because now they're getting countered at like if the hit would have been a high, now they're getting high countered. Depending on what character you're using versus them, that's going to change everything, And it's like that's just. No, what? Why are you countering that? And it's like...
Yeah, and that's just another one of the areas where, that needs to be an area where people focus on is like, some of the characters in the game, they have great mix-ups. Some of the characters, they don't even have 50-50s. It's like a 33, 33, 33. Like, you have to guess what they're going to do. And it's like, in cases like that, it's like, why would you put yourself in a position to be mixed up? Like, if they've got like a tracking, stunning attack at the end of this string, or they've got, like maybe a low, or they've got, I don't know, even a guard break or something, why let them get that far into the string where now you have to stop them before they get to them?
Exactly. Like, one thing I noticed, like, for instance, my habit with Ayane is I love 66K. I've always loved that move since vanilla because it would give her, like, way back before they passed her, it would get, I forget what it was +7 originally.
It was +7, and it's like you had to make these stupidest guess. It was literally mash or get thrown. There was no ducking, mash.
And it used to jail you, but now they put it to effect that everybody could duck that move easily online, and it still hasn't gotten on to me, like, I can't use this move anymore because, like, I loved it so much, and I just... Yeah, and like when I get frustrated, this and that, when like my thing goes into autopilot, it comes out, and everybody's learned like okay,
stuff it.
Yeah, just stop it cold, no more.
I'm not gonna lie, muscle memory sometimes. Like I'm not gonna lie, I can't even tell you how many times I do this with Kirsty. There's one attack where it's like it doesn't matter how many times I sometimes say to myself, "Don't do this." It's like the same pattern, and I was doing faithfully. Her 2H+K is like the low kick, and it's like she's got the punch follow-up, it's another low. It's like I almost always do that, and I instantly commit to like 4K, her back kick, because it's like a lift stun, and it reaches so far. And it's like I get countered like 9 out of 10 times, but it's like I can't get that out of my head sometimes. Like, stop doing that. Like, stop. So I definitely get it. Like sometimes, it's like all you see is, oh yeah, I'm getting frustrated now. I can't hit you. And so you start going back to what you used to do, and
it's not working.
Yeah. So I feel like a big thing is, like I said, adaptation. You need to know what to do in every situation. Okay, if everything that you've been doing up until this point suddenly stopped working, what are you gonna do to become more effective? What are you gonna do so that you can, start opening people up again? If you reach that point where you say, okay, because everything I used to do suddenly isn't working anymore, I must not be good, or, basically that's saying to me that you don't have the ability to adapt and or learn different ways to play your character. If you get so stuck in your ways doing one thing over and over again, when it stops working, what are you going to do?
You're just going to lose.
And it's like, I feel like that happens a lot with people. It's like they don't want to change. It's like when what they're doing stops working, it's like they're just like, man, I can't beat this character, or I suck, I'm not good at this. No, it's just in reality, people are going to start catching on to stuff. People aren't going to stay bad forever. If you've been hitting me with the same thing repeatedly, eventually I'm going to find a way to get around you.
Well, there is a saying I will toss out. I think it's Einstein that actually said this, where the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And
I do understand the idea of, if it's working repeatedly, keep doing it. I'm definitely a believer. if you're gonna get hit by a mid wake up kick every time I'm getting up off the ground, I'm going to keep doing it until you stop. You know, if you let me sit here and throw you 5 times in a row, I'm going to keep doing it until you stop me. So I mean, I'm definitely a believer of if it keeps working, yeah, keep using it. But when it suddenly stops working and you still keep using it, okay, clearly you've got a problem on your hands. You need to definitely change something up. So that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.